make sure if you are on the panel, you can use this for whatever purposes that you see fit. Please do not try to change my intent, because it won't work. So, all right. Welcome everybody to this episode of Infinity Solutions. We're here with the goddesses of Gans this evening. And we are here, we're discussing some plans, we're working together, and we want to try to simplify things in anybody's life who decides that they want to try and make a device that will better their life or somebody around them. And what we want you to do is we want to make this as simple as possible. So, you know, we've reached out around the world to ask people to help us in this. You know, they've approached us here and they're helping us to simplify things. And I'd like them to take the time to introduce themselves, if they don't mind. And let's see if I can do this correctly. Go ahead. Whoever's first, I think we'll go with Whitney.
All right, my name is Whitney Fisher, and we're part of a group of sisters that have come together, and we have Carolyn and Yazmin on the call right now, but a group that we're coming together to put together a simple format so that we can share how to make this amazing technology, and in that really learning how to really understand the basic tenets. And that's why we're starting these conversations with Mike to be able to really learn this technology from a basic point of view, so that when we're sharing it with the world, that we have the tools for that. And Yazmin, you want to introduce yourself?
Well, I'm part of this. Hi, everybody, and nice to meet you in person, Mike. I have been reading your post in Facebook, and I start to watch your YouTube information. It's amazing. And yes, I am a part of this group of big sisters, and they have a lot of information and knowledge that I don't have yet, and I want to be like them. But I have all my energy, and I have a little son that I love it, and I want to be in a peaceful and wonderful world for him.
Well, this is the place to do it. Thank you. You know, I mean, we really have some opportunities here, I think. You know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, and I'm Carolyn DeAngelis. I'm from Mahomet, Illinois, and I know a lot more than the people on the street, but I'm making my GANs, I'm making a health pen, and I'm just working up. I know you have to make GANs before you make anything else. I figured that part out. And so I want to make it all, but like I have trouble sometimes understanding if you can, for health pens, you can make the coils both ways or one way. And I've seen different blueprints for the health pen. So I don't know which, I mean, I'm going to just have to experiment, make them all kind of thing to see how they work. And I'd love to make, you know, a unit for the house for the, to save on power. And like I said, I don't really know what the IQs or whatever I know they have numbers after them. I don't really know what that is because I'm so far behind on Keisha's videos since he has so many. But I'm really eager to catch up and be there, and I'm eager to get it to other people also.
Well, that's fantastic. This is, like I said, this is a simplified version. You know, we're in the process of working out the ability to hold on just a second.
There we go.
There we go. I can't hear myself now. That got really loud. I was talking to myself. God was there. What was I saying now? Jeez. I'm ringing in my own ears.
I think that you were saying that we are working on bringing that.
Oh, yes, that's correct. We're working on bringing the YouTube videos into an organized pattern. Okay, that's one of them. First off, if you guys decide to use the links, you know, or whatever, and when you're document that in any of your documents and things like that, that would be fantastic. You know, step one type thing, go to this video. On step two, this is what you're going to need, you know, all of the materials that are in that video particularly. You know, I guess, I don't know how talented you ladies are, or anybody out there really, you know, everybody amazes me at some point, you know, because of something that they know that I don't. So, you know, video editing, if there's something that you guys know, or, you know, a friend, that would be fantastic. Animations, those, I mean, I can, if their computer is strong enough, I could probably crash it with the details that I've got in my brain. And, you know, with those kind of visuals, it would be so easy to explain to them, to the people when they can see it, because it'll be, you know, in a visual language that they can see. And, you know, it'll happen, I'm sure. It's picking up already. We're getting groups such as yourself that are coming around and wanting to pass on this knowledge. And you're just paving the way to make it easier for them, you know, for the next group to come in. And we're creating this online village, as I call it. I'll be the center of the star right now. Okay, you guys learn this stuff, and you know, when you finally do get to learn, you're going to basically spit yourself back out and go become your own star. You know, that's what we're doing here, is evolving as human beings, you know. So let's keep the analogy going, and, you know, let's all be stars, literally. And I'm hoping I can answer any questions that you have, you know, and make it as simple as possible. And feel free to take any of my stories or explanations or whatever. And if you get a visual in your head, if it doesn't match mine, I don't care, you know. But if you get a visual that helps you understand, please try to draw it. Try to make a cartoon out of it, or try to do something to show and express that, because there's so many people out there who can't understand the words that we're saying, but they can see, and they can see those pictures. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know. It just needs to be there so that they can have the concept, you know.
So
and when you have it, and go ahead.
I'm sorry. One of the questions that everybody asks is, then what is plasma? It's the first thing that they're asking. What is it? What's the nature of it?
Well, plasma is light energy. It's an induction field. Okay, it's if you understand, you know, if we run an electrical current through a copper wire that's wrapped around a nail, you create a magnet, right? Okay, because you're forcing the electrons to take a certain shape, okay, in a certain pattern, which creates an attracting force, a gravitational force. Our version, what we've been taught as being magnetical, is really, or being a magnet, is actually what's called a gravitational energy field. Okay, and so whatever you think of as being a magnet in our world today, like what's sticking to your refrigerator, or can stick to your car, or, you know, whatever, okay, you have to think of that as a gravitational force now. Okay, as soon as you start thinking that, because when you do, now it isn't just a magnet that sticks to your door, you know, of your refrigerator. Okay, a wet paper towel sticks to a wall. Okay, that is a gravitational force. That's a magnet. That's a magnet as we know it and as we understand it. Hold on just a second. Come on in. No, I did not. I'm going to take a break and a little bit, yeah. You want me to? Okay. All right. Got to take a little bit of a break here in a little bit because I got to go feed my horses. But the, you know, understanding the true meaning of a gravitational force, okay, an attracting force, you can tell, and you start changing things like, so now a paper towel is actually a magnet. Man, that just blows my mind. You know, it really does. It's so simple that it's like, I'm going to question that. Okay. Please do question it all. Okay. Because I did. That's why I'm here. I questioned it, everything. I didn't believe a word that I read or that I saw, unless I saw it 3 times in almost the same fashion, the same intent. That was the only time I could take anything for truth, and then that's when I learned to start trusting myself and saying, forget Google, because it's all misinformation anyway. So, just about everything I learned off of YouTube. So, please explore YouTube as much as possible. Honestly, you really have to. So, but when you change your perception about a gravitational energy, all right, and correlate it with being a magnet, right, and the information that we know about a magnet or what they've told us with polarities, okay, where they have the attracting side, if you put them together, and then they have the ones that repel, okay. Those same kinds of forces or actions happen when you're dealing with this light energy, okay. So if you were ever trying to figure out if something is going to be attracting or opposing, just get two magnets out and color one side red and color the other side blue. Okay. If the red and the blue stick together, okay, that means they're attracting. Okay. They're opposite polarities. You get this is pretty deep, really quick. So I think I've gone a little fast on that. I'll get some graphics here, make it easier. But somebody got a question?
I don't have a question. I was going to ask if the idea I have on it is right. If I could say that maybe while you're getting paper. So from what I kind of understand, there's like invisible torus fields, the donut. Well, that would be like the bar magnet. And the field that comes out is, I don't know, is that pushing, and the other one is attracting on the torus? Is that correct?
It's pulsing.
So these are all like invisible, teeny things to us. And I think I was trying to remember what Keish said. Depending on the side, they attract. So then they pull towards them protons and electrons, and so you start to form atoms from these invisible torus fields that have magnetic and gravitational fields kind of all in one, but they're different sizes. That kind of.
Yes, if you can figure out, if you can envision, okay, as it being, take a pillowcase. Oh my gosh. Take a pillowcase, for instance, okay, and stuff 79 more pillowcases inside of there. Okay, that's what we're doing here when you're adding layers of energy. Okay, and when you create, let's say, gold Gans, and you go on your periodic table of elements and you see the atomic number, okay, which is the very top number, usually by itself, okay, at the very top of your periodic table of elements. We're being interfered with right now in audio. The periodic table of elements, that number, that atomic number, is the number of field interactions for using light. Okay, so anytime you're making an infinity device or any device that you want to use light or plasma energy, okay, you can utilize the atomic number on the periodic table of elements and you use it as a reference to what flavor or strength you want your field to be, okay? So if you were listening to any of the Cash videos and you always hear him say something about field strength, okay, how to make it stronger, okay, the field strength of gold is 79, okay? That's also the atomic number of gold on the periodic table of elements, okay? Well, when you're dealing with light energy, you always add 1. So you have 79 plus 1. So in order to get the field strength of gold, you have to have 80 field interactions, okay? So you would literally have to have 79 of those pillowcases stuffed inside of one more, all right? And you would have the same energy field as gold, okay? And you would get all of the attributes of gold without the weight, okay? Which means that you would be feeding yourself with gold energy, all right? Now, it always takes 2 to tango. If you were to create a device that was giving off 81 or 80 field interactions, okay, and you had another one that was giving off 80 field interactions on the other side, okay, what happens in the middle where the two are combining? It would blend it, right? So it would turn whatever material is in the middle to gold, okay? Just like if you were to make your CO2 reactor, right? You have a nano-coated copper on one side, right? It's connected by a plain copper wire that goes all the way over the box, right, to a zinc. So now you're using the opposite of copper, which is nano-copper, okay, to create a magnet with copper, or with zinc, which is matter form because it's not nano-coated, all right? So you have a negative and a positive together, and in the center, you're creating a magnet, and you use the salt water to capture those neutrinos, okay, or the Gans, as we call it, okay? And that's how these work. Well, it's no different if you were to add gold on one side and gold on the other side, and you had the two energetic fields of gold. They blend together like a mixer, the toroidal field, okay? And it takes 2 to tango, which means that it takes 2 to make change in the third. All right? And that's how you have to position or think about this, is because it's going to be the space in the middle of any line, any wire that you put together. If there's more than one wire that passes next to itself, it's the space between the wires that I'm referring to, okay? It's not the wire itself, but the space between the wires. So you're going to have to imagine, and you'll hear me say a lot, that you've got to follow the path of the light, all right? That's not a religious context, okay? It's not even spiritual. It's scientific, okay? Sit yourself inside of that copper wire, however you've got it bent, okay? You have to imagine that it's a tube or one of those water slide rides, okay? And when you get inside of that water slide ride, how many times is it going to pass next to another tube, okay? Every time another tube passes by you, it's going in a different direction, right? You're going this way, the tube is going the opposite direction. So is that water that's inside of there, okay? Well, just because it's in a tube doesn't mean it doesn't have a field on the outside of it that it's creating. And it's that field that's going this direction and the field that's going this direction that is creating the friction in the middle, okay? And it's that friction between the opposing energy when it's traveling, okay, is what's going to create the desired effects that you want, all right? Does this make sense to you guys? I'm trying to paint a picture in your head before I show it to you, okay? That's the idea here, is because if I can paint a picture, or at least a partial picture, then now we're building with plasma, okay? Because your imagination is plasma.
So is this the same wire or different wires? So is it your same tube?
What do you mean?
Like if you twisted, is it this, like when you say they're passing by each other, is this two separate tubes or one tube that might be twisted?
It's one tube,
Uh-huh.
okay? But you got to remember, as soon as it switches direction the other way, it becomes its own entity because it's going in a completely different direction, okay? And when you're nanocoating all of this stuff, it's isolating that copper wire completely. It's insulating it with, a little plasma bubble all the way around it, okay? And it's that little plasma bubble that goes around it that when you put the wire next to itself, okay? When you put the wire, this is a pretty stiff wire here. 8 gauge. Right.
Stiff.
When you're putting the wire next to itself, okay, remember this is going to have an energetic field here, and this one's going to have an energetic field, okay? It's just a tube that like slides over the top of this copper wire that you can't see. It's an invisible shield, all right? But the energy can only go in one direction. It's like like literally like a hose, okay? The source energy goes in one direction and it will come out the other direction, all right? It doesn't hop wires, it doesn't short circuit, it doesn't do any of that. That's not the way this operates, okay? It literally is following the path of this wire wherever you make it go, okay? And every time it gets next to or crosses over itself, crosses over, okay? That space in the middle there creates energy, okay? And it's that space in the middle where the energy is created that we want to harness, all right? And so when you take one of these and you were to twist it and twist it and twist it, right? Let's say 8 or 12 times, and you wanted to twist it, okay? You would have to imagine that there is a little blue beam of energy that is spiraling in the spaces between this wire, okay? And so that's what you're trying to create. And the more twists that you put in there, the longer that blue spiral is, you see? Okay? Well, that blue spiral is your plasma. You can't see it, but it's there when you make your infinity devices. Okay? It's an open plasma. That's why we don't need these big reactors and we don't even need the IQ. They just need a little figure-8 device that's twisted 3 times. But people don't believe that. So, I had to give them an IQ. I had to give them an upgrade in intelligence and say, hey, here you go. There's your IQ. You can make this. It will make you smarter. It will connect you to your higher self. Okay? Therefore, it is dubbed the IQ. And you'll move forward in life. You can ask your own questions and get your own answers. So we literally don't have to teach this to 7.5 billion people on the planet. We just have to show 1 or 2, and those 1 or 2 people will start spreading like wildfire. And that's the beauty of all of this is how simple it is. Now, even in some of my drawings, some of my earlier drawings, I can tell you what frequency, the number of twists that you have, all the way up to like 6 wires. Okay, that's how deep this goes for me. And you can follow the Fibonacci number sequence. You can use golden means. You can use all of those formulas. They all come together. Okay, and the one equation that I wrote down, back in April, back in February, I wrote it down. I woke up one morning and I was thinking about, I had pi, 3.1415. I didn't know why. And, I got up, couldn't sleep, had some coffee, was having a cigarette, and my son walked in the door getting ready for work. And he never comes in the morning, but he came in a little early and, I had to use the restroom, and he came out. He's wearing a shirt that says 3.1415 on it. And I still wasn't awake, and I had the still groggy feeling, and I was like, And I knew I had to go to work soon. So I said, all right, I'll bite. I need the short version of what is the coolest thing that you know about pi? And that's what I asked him. And the very first thing that came out of his mouth was, Dad, pi is the shortcut to infinity. Bam, everything clicked for me. That was like the word code exchange that he activated my brain. And from there, I turned off and I went off on a whole tangent for the next hour and a half, making this equation that requires no numbers. It's just a shape, okay? And it's the shape of the neutrino, where you have the two circles. And if you were to combine the volume of those two circles, it would equal the outer energy field. And that was a pretty intense day for me, you know, and I don't know how to use them yet, but I know that I've got them, you know, and I'm hoping that somebody out there who understands equations and numbers will be able to reach out and, you know, help me with this equation so that we can move forward. I'm pretty sure it has everything to do with, you know, space travel and being able to measure the field strength and how strong and what it would look like if they were to put this equation into a computer, you know, that kind of thing. So it's a pretty intense little set of equations. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm excited. I feel all this energy coming in now, and you know, my brain is gone. With that being said, I'll be back in about 10 minutes, okay? I need to go feed my horses, okay, before my wife comes back with the shotgun.
Right.
We'll stop recording.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and stop recording now. If I hit the right